and let's see some Kirby. It's been a while since I've seen a Kirby game, so take it away, Sol.
Yes, hello. Hello to no holidays allowed, where the holidays are still not allowed and reasons. Anyways, I am BeamQueenSol, or you can just call me Sol. So what I have is technically Kirby, but not really. So Star Allies has this mode called Death Stars, where it's kind of like the game's extra mode. You get to play as any number of these characters, including several Dream Friends that got added through several updates along the way. The last few ended up adding these ones, so each one represents a different game. The one we're going to be doing, though, is Susie. Her subtitle explains most of the run, actually, as far as, like, fighting things go. She does, in fact, start blasting. Anyways, without kind of dawdling on this, let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go. So, Susie represents Rubberbot. If you played that game on the 3DS, you probably know a fair bit about her, and if you haven't, play that game if you find a way to get access to it, because it's honestly a really good time. But movement-wise, she's very similar to a combination of kind of just hovering around and the jet ability. And I'm already seeing remarks about hydration time. You will understand that very soon. Because the game also has like a whole elemental system. Elements in general add extra damage to your attacks, add different effects to them as well. And some are better than others. For example, like, a lot of time you'll see like ice being very useful in the runs. Because they freeze enemies, and that the game counts them as automatically defeated once that happens. For Susie, however, it's actually going to be water. And that's going to sound weird. That's going to sound a little bit weird, because it's like, well, why water? Why would you want that one when it sounds like ice is, like, so good? You'll understand. You'll understand very soon. But for now, we're just going to kind of keep floating around here. Get one of these broom hatters here, because we actually want wind very briefly. They also give us water, so it'll be useful in a minute. But I'm gonna grab that, drop down here, and we're gonna hit this little fan here. This moves up faster than we can actually fly, so this works out for a lot of reasons. And you've already seen me grabbing these. So these little hearts here actually increase our stats. For example, the speed is very self-explanatory. Anything we do involving general movement, like floating around with the transporter, as this thing's called, it's just faster by default. Her jet dash, for example, is not actually affected by this. So we don't actually want it, but I am going to quickly switch over to water, and that is going to be it for elements for most of the run until we get towards the end. When we get to the end, there's a whole segment we'll be switching a bunch then, but for now, it's time to hydrate. It's time to hydrate.
Oh boy, hydration.
Yes. Also, we have what is best described as corporate-mandated team-building exercises like the Friend Train. This is effectively an auto-scroller, so Mash, if you have any messages or anything, definitely feel free to give them.
Awesome. Well, while we're on this Friend Train, let's go ahead and go over like why we're here. We're raising money for a Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center during the event, which is No Holidays Allowed, where we're trying to support the dog shelter that's located in the Hampton, Virginia area, and they've been actively rescuing, nurturing, and bringing all of these dogs back to health, and then finding new homes for them through their adoption program. And you can support them directly by using !donate and put your money towards incentives if you happen to have a few dollars to spare. And if you don't, please go to the GoRescueDogs.com website and then go to the How Can I Help tab and check out their Amazon wish list or things like that and see how else you can offer some support for them as well.
Yeah, so at the end of that segment, you saw how one of our allies actually caught the heart. that actually saves us a little bit of both real-time and in-game time. This run actually goes off at in-game. And we also grab Candy. Candy, this is a ton of speed, and also just kind of makes this boss fight completely trivial. We would actually take him out then and there, but unfortunately the game does require us to do one phase transition, and so we can't go below 1 health. So he has to do his animation, we immediately hit him as soon as that starts, fight's over. In summary, Candy is very powerful, but you don't get too many chances to actually use it. In fact, that's pretty much the only real good chance we get in the run. But now we have this little segment here where we're largely sort of floated around this whole, like, branching path thing. If you go the right way, you get little extra things like extra point stars that goes towards extra lives, although we don't really need them. This game is honestly not terribly difficult. If you went to the bottom path, there's also an extra speed up, but we're actually near the end of level 1 already, so we don't care about it. It's mostly a hindrance at best. It takes extra time to grab it. We don't need it. We're just gonna kind of fly up the stairs here. We don't really, Susie ain't got time for that. Susie ain't got time for that. She's here for strictly business, and it's very relevant right about now. So, here's her other thing. If you played Robobot, you know about her boss fight where she had the match, and this is her match. The game calls this the business suit. I don't know why, but it's very aptly named. Also, bit hearts like that gives us an increase to every stat, so we get more attack, more health, more speed. The main thing we want there is the attack. The health is kind of irrelevant. I also forgot to dismiss those early. That's okay. Alright, so this is a very specific setup, because I don't want him to go into the... I don't want him to break the floor. So I'm gonna wait till he starts attacking, and now we're gonna start blasting. That's it. We have sufficiently hydrated the king, and he just kind of needs to take a break. He's fine. He's fine. He was thirsty, and he's so happy to be hydrated right now.
Hydration. Didn't know it was that powerful.
Oh, this was found by accident, funny enough. Because up to this point, I played way earlier runs of this, I would use, I think, ice, because I mentioned ice being very good against a lot of, like, smaller enemies. But near the end of the run, there's a whole segment with several electrified gears that are very hard to get around. So one of my viewers suggested, well, why not use water so you can, you know, break those? If they short them out, it'll actually make them, like, rust instantly, and they'll short out and be destroyed. So I did that, and I figured, well, I don't really want to switch off the element if I'm going to use it. Let's just see how it fares, and the final boss gauntlet pretty much died immediately. So now it's the cornerstone strat of the run. Also, another little small mob rush here, although I accidentally hit down, so that took me out of the little float I had. But yeah, stuff like that shows up a lot. Most of them pretty quick. Even if you don't use an element, if you use, like, her standard attack's still very good. But anyways, I hope you like, it's now her turn to hydrate, and by that, I mean she's going to be swimming for a bit. Nothing else to really say here. This room is kind of just make sure I don't get hurt, because we don't have a lot of health. Like you'll notice that our stats would reset every level, and we only have like half that meter right now. It goes up the more we have the green health hearts. Most of the time, we don't care to grab them. They don't really waste time. It's just more we shouldn't need them unless things go very south very quickly. But we do have a mini-boss here, and we're going to deal with this by basically just slamming into it repeatedly with the mat. Grab him real quick. We're actually wanting for a second, so he's going to kind of just grab them. We're going to grab that heart. He's going to not cook, in fact. He's going to do the exact opposite. They're just going to disappear. I'm going to dismiss him. I don't need him anymore. He's done. And that's not the only mid-boss we'll be doing that with, because there's another one coming up right now, and we're going to do the same thing. So, back into the map real quick. He's going to do his little animation. I'm going to drop this, spin, take him out, friend him, dismiss. He's my friend now, and he can leave. I'm fine.
That's a very interesting mechanic.
It's actually really neat. Like, having the extra allies can be useful for certain puzzles, and certain mob rushes actually do kind of like having the extra hands. But a lot of the time, it also just ends up with, you have extra health on bosses and stuff, so you don't care. So a lot of time, you'll just dismiss them immediately. Or as soon as you don't need them anymore, you dismiss them. It's a little antithetical to the game's message, considering the whole thing's about, you know, having friends and allies and stuff to help you along, and then you're just kind of like, oh, I don't need you, actually. And it's maybe not the best thing to take away, actually. But even though they're apart, you know, they're still there for you. You just kind of have to reach out. Also, one of the rare moments where I'll still use jet movement in the run. Most of the time, we're here at a point where I'm almost never gonna need it. Or it's just too situational. Like, it's not the best movement. It kind of just works. Once I have level 1 speed, it's also slower than just what I'm doing with our transporter. So get out of here. I think we're getting close to the next big mob rush. Yeah, we have this room left, and then it's like the next mob rush. This one can be a little awkward, so, okay, good damage boost. Hopefully I have beat the cycle for the blades here, and yep, I just barely beat it. Let's go, we're good. But yeah, big mob rush coming. Not a whole lot to say about it. If there's any messages, you can definitely give them. Otherwise, enjoy as Susie watches a lot more enemies.
Yeah, go ahead and plug a couple things here. So we do have a couple things open for Rhythm Sprout that'll be happening tomorrow. You can unlock the 5 bonus songs.
Ooh, nice.
That are still going, I believe. I'm just confirming.
That sounded unfortunate.
And then we also have the Lord of the Rings Bid War, which either is an extended edition or a theatrical cut of the game's cutscene features. And it's a rhythm game, so I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm very curious, just based on the name.
I'd love to find out.
But yeah, it takes place before the 14th level of the game. So yeah, it's like, looks like it's extra bits of the story along with the game. But yeah, so like the Rhythm Sprout additional songs adds 5 minutes of additional songs to the run, on top of the main story songs to the game.
Alright, so Meta turned out very quickly if I do this right. I'm gonna make sure I get a few hits, and done. we just kind of drive like the drill end of the match right through them. That's it. Funny enough, that one does actually require at least level 3 attack. Otherwise, we don't do enough damage to actually get him into the get him out of that. Get him before he goes into his next phase. And next phase is rough because he'll like float into place and he'll split off into like 2. And it just wastes a bunch of time, so if we can take him up before that happens, that's way more beneficial. Also, this level has kind of a 11-hour route change of sorts that happened like literally maybe like the other day. So this one's gonna be a little bit different. So first of all, I'm gonna grab this bottle. Okay, I'm not gonna grab that bottle, I guess. There's another one a little bit further. I didn't grab that one. But Still, we're gonna grab Waddle Doo here. Because actually, he has a very important purpose. He's gonna hit that switch right here. This little electrified thing. And then I'm gonna wait till it goes away. I'm gonna have to dismiss him, so I'm already done with him. And this speed up is actually worth grabbing. And I know this must sound even weirder, because, like, hey, this is in-game time. You just wasted a ton of it to do that. Would you believe that actually saves time, of course, across this level? This actually will end up saving us time in the long run, so it ends up being very useful, and it actually routes out a different speed up we would grab much later, because now we don't need it. So for now, we're just gonna casually float our way across. I'm gonna lower myself just a little bit, because that Como will otherwise do contact damage, and we don't want that. And, who here knows about Kirby's Dream Land 3? Do you remember Ponitron from that game? They're back. They're back, kind of. They're probably not gonna last terribly long, but they're back. So, yeah, slamming into them is very strong. We can't really, like, get a good lineup for anything else here. So we slam into them. We slam both of them like that, and that takes care of both of them. Not the only time we'll kind of see them. There is another version of them later called Goldon and Silvox. And a lot of the same stuff applies there in terms of how to fight them. The main difference is they have more health. Also, we have this awkward room. I'm gonna there we go, good. This room is hard to deal with without a damage boost. It's about the only way I can realistically get it. But we should be fine on health for the rest of the level. There's not really anything dangerous. We do have a couple of bosses, but honestly, they're not gonna last terribly long. So this is where we start fighting the Mage Sisters, kind of one of the main antagonists of the game. And you can see exactly why we want water. The reason water is so good is it does a lot of multiple hits that do fairly high damage, and Kirby combat mechanics in the later games actually really favor being able to do a bunch of hits rather than one strong hit. It's very different if you've played like the older games, like the retro ones, especially stuff like Superstar, where it's the opposite. Like you want big strong hits that do a lot of damage rather than lots of weaker ones because of the way just Mercy invincibility works and everything. But in this game, if you can hit them multiple times and do reasonably good damage, it's almost always going to be the better option. Stuff like this ends up being very effective as a result. Certain abilities like Beam is actually surprisingly good, actually. Unfortunately, the run itself, and the reason you don't see me use Waddle Doo in this is, best summed up as a lot of the routes for Death Stars are not very good. Ooh, kind of a bad hit there, but that worked out. And then we did heal between checkpoints, so we're in no danger. We're fine. We're fine. We're going completely okay. She's not a good flow. She's not a very good workflow. Anyways, this room. So this room has one of each of the upgrades, and we're not going to take any of them. The attack up's just a little, not really worth it for us in the long run for what we grab later. The speed up, this is where I would grab a speed up if I didn't get the one earlier with Waddle Doo's help. And that is the reason we grabbed that one. It ends up coming out to being a net positive for us to take that extra time to grab it. In fact, this section is where a lot of our stats are going to come in. So, like, if I wanted to grab everything, there's a bunch of health I could get. There's a ton of attack. Like, basically all the attack is, like, offloaded here. There's a bit, and there's a little bit more speed, but we don't really need it. But we do want this attack here. Drop down there for safety. And once I get past this segment... Oops, that's fine. Because we're going to get the big one here, and that gives us our health back anyway. Okay, you know, I'm gonna try something a little different here, because I've been wondering if this would be better in this room, and I think I'm gonna be right about that. See, I'm just gonna, like, give them all the rent cycle. Oh yeah, that worked out way better. So if anyone's being notard had runner trying a new strat during a marathon run, here you go. That's finally happened. That's finally happened, and I think that worked out in my favor. So let's go. That was great. All right. We only have the next couple of rooms to navigate. It's just gonna be floating. But we do have one more boss coming up. So we fought through the first two, the Mage Sisters, Francesca and Flamberge. The last one of those is we'll be dealing with is Zan Partisan. She does have a task where if she was using them, water would actually be really good here because it shorts them out. But we're gonna take her out way faster than that to even be a consideration. Also, we're gonna damage boost there so we don't get hit by her spear. Her spear hits like a truck and sends us flying pretty far. By the way, that's the boss fight. She doesn't really get a chance. Anyways, it's level 4 starts. We're just not gonna be a whole lot going on past what we've been doing. If our host has any messages, this would be a good time for them as I just run away from a giant Waddle Dee Katamari.
Alrighty. Perfect. Alrighty. So yeah, this is No Holidays Allowed. You are currently watching the Kirby's Star Allies, sorry. There's like a lot of Kirby games in the marathon.
Fine.
We have like 2 more tomorrow if you can't get enough Kirby.
Yeah, definitely be there
this run. Yeah, this run, I haven't seen this particular Kirby. In fact, the only Kirby game that I remember playing myself was the GameCube racing one.
Oh, Air Ride's a real good time.
Yeah, Air Ride. Oh, if everybody needs to play a Kirby game, Air Ride for sure. But like, there's been so many good Kirby games since then. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, we are watching No Holidays Allowed. It's a variation of the No Glitches Allowed events. This is unfortunately the last one for the foreseeable future. So we've been trying to make the most of this No Holidays Allowed event. But we also have the Completion-a-thon events that also run alongside the no glitches allowed events that happen throughout the years as well. So we'll have news for those upcoming events going into the new year. So stay tuned for updates and messages. Join the community, get involved with the Discord, and if you're interested in potentially volunteering or assisting us, then let us know and join us.
Yeah, by the way, there was nothing to say about that fight. It's Wispy. We already fought Wispy. But would you believe there's another one? Would you believe there's another tree? We're also going to water the roll tree while we're here. This is Yiddy Woods. Well, you know, very different. Totally different. Very old tree.
Oh, we're watering them.
We are watering the very old tree, and they are now sufficiently watered. They are very watered now. They are very hydrated.
Certainly a lot of hydration going on in this run.
Well, it's very important. It's very important that you stay hydrated. Otherwise, bad things can happen.
Yeah, hydration is key to our body's ability to like keep ourselves active. Believe it or not, it affects a lot of things. So yeah.
Exactly, and that's why Susie's going for a swim real quick. Also, we do take the Vernon Leo there to potentially help us during the mob rush. Unfortunately, sometimes they isn't the most cooperative. Sometimes it happens. But usually he's good about hitting the the side that we're not going towards, and we can make that go a little bit quicker. Just get rid of those, and slam into both of them. There we go, very good hit. I'm just gonna keep doing this. And pretty much the next attack I do to them will finish this fight, so hopefully they start on this side. They didn't, but that's fine. I can do this, and they're done.
Nice.
Like I said, very, very similar to how Pawn and Pawn were. Aside from that second phase. The second phase is very different. But they also are completely scripted there. They do the same setup. So as long as we do enough damage, we can just kind of take them out immediately. This turn's also kind of just neat. There's a lot of these glunts that are trying to fire at us. Most of the time, we're actually going just slow enough to not really have to worry about them. Aside from this one is just a little bit quicker about it and will hurt us otherwise. But this part of the stage is where we're going to start kind of seeing refights with the Mage Sisters, because we end up having to fight them twice in the run. So right now we're on the way to fighting Francesca again, and she does change up a little bit of her stuff. Like she now has like basically like a soda bottle with like carbonated water that she will shake up and fire at us during her second phase. She probably won't really get to do that if I'm being honest. But each of them have something like that. Like she has that. Flamberge has like a giant cannon that spits fire. But also if you put out the flame, it'll explode and she will be stunned for a bit. That said, we have Susie with water, and yeah, this is not in their favor right now. In fact, look now, she's so happy to be hydrated. She's just went off to the moon over it.
That was her blasting off.
Yeah, it's also like very, very Team Rocket if you've seen the Pokemon anime, and I'm sure there's a lot of y'all that have. And trust me, that's always in my head every time it happens. Every time I see that type of KO. Anyways, it's time for the business trip. So, never been Mob Rush. We're going to be doing a lot of her lots of her Met. And most of it will not be difficult. There's one spot that could be, and mostly only if I mess up. So we'll drop down here. We also drop down way faster because this thing's a lot heavier than Susie herself. It's also better defense. We take a lot less damage from attacks if we're in it. Like, Susie herself is actually very frail. So I'm going to start doing a lot of these slams now to take care of these enemies as they come in. Now we have the spikes, and hopefully this works to our advantage. So we're going to... Oops, they didn't go quite the way I wanted. That's alright. And one more. That's it. That's the Mob Rush. And we're going to drop down, get our prize. Hop out of the mech.
Very, very clean.
Well, I mean, it's water. I would hope it is. I would hope it's clean. Because if it isn't, I don't want to know where she's getting that water from, Len. And she might want to check her pipes. Anyway, speaking of water, here's Krakow. There's Krakow.
Oh, okay.
By the way, they're not done. They're not done. They realized, okay, maybe being 1 wasn't good enough. How about we be 2? I have bad news. I have bad news. It wasn't.
The health bar has just got deleted.
Yeah, the health bar just kind of melts. If you have the right ways to go about it. There's actually some interesting interactions with elements with that fight. When they're doing the big deluge of water, it's actually, well, it's water, so you can electrify it, and it will actually hurt them. Anytime you use, anytime you use like an electrical attack on them, they will take extra damage during it. They can be frozen, and if that happens, they both take a heavy amount of damage, fall to the ground, and then take extra damage until they are out of that frozen state. It's kind of a neat precursor to what we got later in Forgotten Land, where ice can actually freeze bosses and do extra damage to them as well. Anyways, here's Flambirch. We don't have anything to raise our stats, and that's not going to make a difference. Ooh, that was kind of not great, but it might be a nicer setup for... Okay, yeah, that worked out better. Yeah, there's the cannon. If we put out the fire, the cannon explodes instead. We don't care. We just take her up before that's ever a threat. Susie did a lot of mileage out of the Joker neutral special. Oh yeah, also, who's familiar with Superstar? This is basically, the Floria runes from Milky Way Wishes. Except instead of seasons, it's more time of day. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to this room. It's just kind of like a neat mechanic. It's mostly loading screens because this game, it's sadly a little on the slow side for loading screens. It was kind of an issue that didn't get resolved until the later games, on Switch. But that's fine, we're out of that room, and we'll just kind of quickly go through this wind tunnel. Also really good music choices a lot of the time. I want to say this song is from, this song's from Triple Deluxe, actually. But you would think it'd be a little bit more from her home game, and sadly there kind of isn't. But that's right, we'll get through here. We have another mob rush. So if there's any new messages, this will be the time for them as we do way more mech things.
Awesome. Alright, folks. So, I hope you all have been enjoying the runs so far today. We have a few more runs left after this run coming up later on, but we still have another 2 full days packed with exciting content that the runners are eagerly awaiting to show and share with everybody as well. And yeah, like, we got more Kirby tomorrow, so I hope you're ready. Around the same time tomorrow we have more Kirby, which I'm super excited about. And right now, we still have those active incentives for Rhythm Sprout going for tomorrow. And we are about halfway to unlocking the bonus songs for Rhythm Sprout. And we still have that active bid war as well going. So if you'd like to add those bonus songs to the current run for Rhythm Sprout, please do get your donations in for that. And if you'd like to add the theatrical cuts or extended edition cutscenes, be it, or maybe don't add them, you can actually choose that option during the bid war.
Yeah, honestly, if you want to see more Kirby tomorrow, definitely be here for Brawl Ball and Epic Yarn, especially Epic Yarn. Mancha's both a fantastic runner, and the commentary that I know they will have is going to be definitely a thing. You don't want to miss that run. Likewise with the Rhythm Showcase, I know y'all want to see more Rhythm stuff, so definitely try to get donations in towards that as well. Also for that matter, maybe, you know, speaking of Kirby, maybe if you have a favorite ability or something, maybe you could put that in the donation comment.
Yeah, I would love to read your wonderful messages, so please get them in. Much appreciated, and you'd be supporting the Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center, helping save doggos, get them nice and healthy, and hopefully finding a brand new home.
Yeah, also, it's time yet again for corporate mandated team building exercises. So, very weird exercise. We kind of like put ourselves in a circle and then roll around a bunch. I don't understand it. But, you know, if that's what they wanted, if that's what they feel is a good exercise, who am I to say no? Also, weird little fun fact, every time I hit an enemy or hit a switch with this, the controller actually does rumble. It's very minute. It's because the way to switch is the whole HD rumble thing. It's neat. Not my favorite thing that the game does. That actually goes towards the final extra stage in this game, if you play the story mode. I'm not going to elaborate on what it is, but it's really cool. It's still one of my favorite uses of the haptics on the Switch controllers in any game. And I kind of I wish it was a thing that happened more, but it sadly isn't. But anyways, that first friend circle, you saw me kind of skip one of the switches, and that's because it would open up another area that would waste way more time to do. But this one's more worth it, and ooh, we actually got the chest RNG. That's random. If I hold up there, there's a chance I will activate the chest as I'm going through, and if I do, one of the allies will hit that for free. If they don't, I lose a little bit of time for it, but it's kind of whatever. It's something I can't really control. Anyways, oh, I don't want you. I want fire. There is a reason for this. So this final segment is where a lot more elemental stuff comes into play. So these enemies have a vulnerability to fire and wind, which will automatically burn off their clothing, burn off their little kind of mask. And then that's it. They're done. Not the first one. We also have another room coming up where we have enemies with like big ice shields, and these icy shields are vulnerable to fire also. So when we get to them, we basically just destroy their shields instantly, and that also automatically takes them out. So you're gonna watch them spawn in. I'm gonna just do that, and they're gone. That's it. And just gonna quickly switch to ice for our, the room after this one. So we're gonna work our way through this. And it kind of works out because by the time we're done with all this, we can actually get water back, and we'll be ready for the final bit. So we're gonna get in here, freeze these enemies, then these two, and then that one. And we're done with Chili. We don't need him anymore, but he's been a great help for us throughout this stage. But now we're just gonna happily float away from all these enemies. We have places to be. Time is money. You know, all that stuff. Susie does not wait. Aside from these, we do wait for these. These are kind of a problem if we don't. They will hurt us a lot. And I'm not playing this room the best. Alright, we'll get you. That gives us water back. That's all we need him for, so he has been basically everything we've wanted and more. And now we're gonna get just a little bit extra attack. Very carefully damage this. As long as we stay kind of in the middle, we will never get hurt by the spikes. And we can just casually throw water, hit those, get rid of them. And now we are coming up to the part that has been dubbed the sus room. So a lot of the Dream Friends have rooms where they have blocks to spell out their name with extra setups. And this one just kind of happens to end on sus. Oh, I didn't want that. You know what? It's a marathon. We'll grab all of them. It's a marathon. We'll get the last one. Not to mention, I wouldn't mind the help anyway. But we're just about done here. This is the last one before we fight the final bosses. We actually go through 3 of them, and they're not gonna be a problem. But we're gonna do the same thing we've been doing. Susie's just gonna start blasting, and they're gonna be very hydrated. That same part of Anne, she was here. I ain't not much else to say.
Quick bosses.
It's going to be about the same for these ones. So this is the one that's been actually kind of I'd say controlling them, but it's more they're on really good terms. There's a lot of lore in this game that I don't have the time to go over, if I'm being honest. But if you're curious about it, like, look it up or play this game. I'm doing this deliberately because if I don't do that, he will start doing his own friend circle. And it's way harder to deal with once that happens. It's not a good time. So if I delay it, he'll have to spend time pulling them back out of the ground. And we didn't do that. Anyways, now we have the final boss. So this is Morpho Night. This would be Galactic Night, but things happen, TM, and again, I don't really have the time to go over it. Look, Kirby lore is very weird. That is not time, by the way. I know that looks like it. It is not. Time is actually going to be after the screen fades to white and we see the final time. But that was the final boss. That was guest stars. This one's really fun. There's a lot of characters you can play this as. There's a ton of replayability with it. Let me hold myself for a second here. Time. And that's real solid.
Awesome.
That's real solid.
Yeah. Awesome job. That was some crazy fast clears on a lot of those stages leading up to the final bosses.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good things that can go with it. But yeah, we go by in-game time for this run. You can see my current PB right there where it says best time. And I think we got that yesterday.
That's amazing.
So yeah, so I got some shoutouts real quick. Obvious shoutouts to the Kirby community in general. Also shoutouts to both probably Geo and Manta. I know they're going to do great on their runs tomorrow. Definitely be there for those. But also, if you want to learn this run, you want to learn any other run, you can go to speedrun.com/Kirby. We have a Discord server, and we also have a speedrun wiki, kirbyspeedrun.com. So if you want to learn it one way or another, you can go to either of those. We'd be happy to see you regardless. Play a Kirby game. They're a good time. But as for myself, you can find me at Twitch, twitch.tv/BeamQueenSol. I go by the same on Blue Sky and Twitter as well. I do a lot of Kirby stuff. I do try to dabble in other platformers and casual things. I just try to have like a good time in general. So if you liked anything you've seen with this run, feel free to follow. I'd love to see you. But otherwise, thanks for having me for this run. This has been great. I know the runs after this are going to be good as well. So I think we're good here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sol, for showing us a great time with this Kirby run. And yeah, we still have a couple more runs to finish out the night with, and I'm looking forward to them as well. So with that, we're going to head over back to intermission, get this next run set up and ready to go, and we'll be back soon with the next run. Thank you again.